Morning all. Sorry, I had mic problems this morning. Couldn't get the mic to work. It's here now though. How are you all doing? Morning Stevie, Johannes, Jesse, Fabio. Happy Friday. Right. This morning we had where's it gone? The pound, not CPI, retail sales came out as negative 0.1, so a little bit better than expected, but nothing much. Hasn't really done much to the pound that I can see, so kind of business as usual there. We got PMIs all day today. So starting off with the French, then the German, and then the pound. And then we've got retail for the CAD and the PMIs for the US 15 minutes after the New York Open. Morning, Diamond. Morning, RK1881. You sound like a Star Wars droid. RK1881. So busy day today, news-wise. Yesterday was the ECB press conference and the rate announcement. Rates went up as 0.5, which is what I was sort of forecasting, what most people were forecasting, to be honest. So the 0.25 wasn't enough. Lagarde actually went with 0.5, which is good. We had nothing come out of the Bank of Japan. So having a quick look at how the market was affected yesterday. The euro, we had a beautiful double-ended stop hunt yesterday on the euro. Textbook. I put this in the Telegram group as potentially what they were going to do, and they did exactly what I expected them to do, which was take out the liquidity on the highs, and then they came down and took out the liquidity on the lows. I got an entry there. I should have taken 0.5% out of the euro yesterday. I didn't. Really annoying. Here's my let's go to that one. Here's my euro trades yesterday. Look. Euro US dollar trades. I had 4 trades on. I took a break even on both of them, basically. I should have milked this yesterday, but I didn't. So as soon as we got the spike, we pushed up and pulled back. I took a little entry there, assuming that they were going to push on the increase, and we were going to get a flyer. So I was playing the home run there. Morning ladder. I added to it there. We pushed up. I had about $120 profit up there, and then they pulled it back. So I took a break even for about 30 quid, $30. And then I got this lovely entry here. This is the best entry I've ever had. This entry down here. It was just so good. So that was basically this low. I said they were going to come down and take the liquidity underneath this low. So I put a limit order, literally a tick under the low. They came and put me in, ticked down by a tick, and then flew. It was brilliant. It was only a sort of once, it's one of those, like, let's have a crack at it. And it worked beautifully. It pushed up nicely. I entered a second position. As soon as I entered my second position on it, because basically I was going for the home run yesterday. The idea was with both of these trades was if they're going to pump the euro, it's going to go, and we're going to get 300 ADR. We didn't. So I thought, right, we'll have another go at it off of these lows. If they take this, I'll add to it, and we'll go. And they didn't. They came back, stopped me out on that one for break even as well. So I didn't lose any money on them. I made about $30, $50 or something, $40. But I was going for the home run. It didn't happen. So the difficulty we have now is, why didn't we go? So we've increased the rates as expected to 0.5%, which is above the forecast. But to me, it looks like the market's factored that in because we have had no run on the euro. So are we now bullish the euro? I don't know. We're more bullish the euro than we were because Lagarde has identified that they are behind the curve with inflation. So they've increased interest rates, as most countries have, above forecast. But it hasn't done anything. When we get an unexpected rate increase like that, like with the Swissy, for example, we tend to get a big move. We get a pump off of it. Where's the better example? Yeah, so Swiss franc increased their rates. We weren't expecting it at all. The market went, all right, okay, now we're bullish on the Swiss franc. that didn't happen yesterday to the euro. So what is our stance now? I don't know. I'm going to leave it and wait. I think at the moment I'm going to remain bearish on the euro to neutral. I don't think the market was particularly impressed by 0.5. Market's just opened. Frankfurt. Got some volatility starting to come through. So yeah, I think I'm going to remain kind of neutral to short still on it, but I'm going to wait and see what happens. If we get a big move today, we hit ADRs on the euro today, then maybe I will switch sort of neutral to bullish. If we drop today, I will be remaining bearish on it. So I think today is going to be a good clue. So going to kind of stick away from the euros today. See how they settle in today. See what the market makes of them today. But yeah, difficult decision to make on the euro. Not impressive, not unimpressive. So what do you do? The big one is the German flash numbers for PMIs. These are the so the euro. The French ones we have coming out first tend to be pretty much the same as the German, so whatever happens to the French tends to happen to the German, but the German is the bigger one. So 8:15 and 8:30 in the next half an hour, we've got volatility coming in. So if you trade in the DAX this morning, just be aware we're going to get some big spikes on the DAX coming up shortly. We've got a gap fill to do, long. So I might play the breakout this morning. See what happens with the opening range break this morning. I've got this set at the moment to 1 minute. So let's drop it down to the minute chart. So there's 1 minute opening range. So there's the initial balance gone in. We'll see what happens from here. Looks a bit bullish at the minute. Sorry, a little bit bearish price action coming in, but looking for a gap fill. Should be able to do this today. If we get positive figures off of the PMIs, we should easily get up there today. We'll see. We'll on to that. So yeah, so there's the euro. The pound this morning didn't do an awful lot. So it's pushed up this morning. We're pushing up this morning off the back of a drop in Asia. So retail figures were slightly better than expected. So nothing particularly exciting going on there either. So yesterday, wow, that's coming down fairly quick. So liquidity ran out the lows there. If we get some bullish price action from here, I think we'll probably run. So yesterday, I banked 0.7. The vast majority of the money yesterday. I made quite a bit off of quite a few things actually yesterday, but New Zealand dollar Swiss. What was that? That was just getting out of this short basically, because it's not going anywhere. So I took this one off. US dollar CAD. So I did some drawdown control on US dollar CAD yesterday. I think it was just those, wasn't it? 21st. Yeah. So US dollar CAD. Can we see those? No. Let's go over to up to the hourly and zoom in so you can see. So I took off these two positions and did some drawdown control again. So you can see I've done one drawdown control on that position there. This one was a 0.23. I've taken it now down to a 0.1. I did a second drawdown control on that one yesterday using the profits of this one. So closed out 66 loss and closed out that profit, which was 60.72 or something. So I just wanted to basically just get a little bit in control of this US dollar CAD, because we've slightly worrying that we had this push up above the highs, and since then we've literally had 3 down days and we're in our second accumulation day. So I'm not particularly impressed with the strength of the US dollar at the moment. So morning, Kennelly. So hello, so if I haven't said hello all morning, I can't remember who I said hello to and haven't. So yeah, so I'm just doing a little bit of DD control on there while I'm banking profits, just to keep on top of it in case the CAD powers up or the US dollar tanks for any reason. Pound US dollar made some profits sells there. Again, we're not gone anywhere, so took those off. Adding another one back on. Just waiting for a drop on that, waiting for pounds to either tank or US dollar to pump. New Zealand dollar Swiss, so I took that one off there. And then I took that second one off ahead of news, basically. So a lot of this was done ahead of news just to put my profit from over here into the bank ahead of the news. And I'm quite glad I did, actually, because the news wasn't particularly kind to my positions, wasn't particularly hurtful either. So bit of a meh day yesterday, isn't it? So 2.5% drawdown. Oil I've got on, which is coming back into profit. So we were looking at oil. This trend line is what we were monitoring. So the trend line junkies jumped in on the fourth hit and shorted it. I'm looking for this to become peak formation low and put in a lower high push. Sorry, a higher low push. Or lower high, whichever way you want to look at it. Either way, I'm looking for it to pump and break this trend line. When it breaks this trend line, we should get a decent run on both of these liquidity pools here. So we should get a good ADR day out of it, hopefully. Morning, Neo. So yeah, so that's kind of at break even at the moment. I've got 2 positions on that, on oil, and yeah, US dollar CAD, as I say, which I'm just keeping on top of at the moment. It's only in 1.5%, so it's not an issue at the minute. New Zealand dollar Swiss is close to break even. Pound US dollar, 1 in profit, 1 not. Got 1 nearly in profit on Aussie dollar CAD, 2 nearly in profit on Aussie dollar CAD. So everything basically that I've got on is, you know, within an ADR. So I'm happy with everything. Just nothing's moving. We're stuck this week. We've been stuck sideways. Just can't seem to get any momentum on anything. Market's gone flat. So not a lot I can do really. Just waiting for price. Anyway, so yeah, quick look at Bitcoin. We had another pump yesterday. So Bitcoin broke out above the highs. I still don't think it's going long. That Tesla has sold all of their, or basically Elon Musk has got rid of all his Bitcoin. So he's dumped Bitcoin. If Elon can't make it work and has made a massive loss out of it, what chances everybody stand? So that's still coming down. Gold. We looked at the gold yesterday for the bounce. We got the bounce yesterday. Lovely bounce yesterday. So yeah, looking good. I think for a move to the upside on this one. We didn't quite get down to the support level on it. We were looking at the daily support, which is there. We got very close. You know, price doesn't go to the pip. It's an area where we're going to see people's potentially limit orders triggering. Potentially that was the trigger yesterday. So big bullish day on gold yesterday. So that may well continue. So we might be looking for longs on gold, but whether or not we're going to actually get that level broken or not will be remain to see. So indices, funny day yesterday. So DAX, obviously we had the gap which got filled on the DAX yesterday. We ended up with a sort of, don't know if you call it bullish or not really, but a bullish rejection of the lows of the previous day. We've gapped down today, so looking for a push back up again, but sideways basically. So after the initial breakout of the accumulation, we are indecision at the moment. We're quite happy to trade up here. Same with the US indices. We've got the break up to the highs. We had lots of rejection coming off of these highs as well. We did break on NASDAQ above this area that I drew in. So we've broken above and held that potential resistance. So we're 3 days up. Obviously loads and loads of earnings coming out at the moment, so that's having a massive impact on stocks. Obviously everyone's buying up stocks. There's a lot of good earnings reports coming out, obviously coming out of COVID. Second quarter completely free, not free of COVID, but obviously free of COVID restriction. Economy starting to pick up, so we're getting a lot of positive figures coming out, hence obviously people are buying up a lot of stocks because they're looking good. So we are getting some pumps. So next stop is up here, the 129.30 level, somewhere around there on the Nasdaq, which is a good, well over an ADR today. But we are on a sort of 5-day rally with one down day in the middle. We are due a pullback. So watching closely today, price action, looking for opportunities to sell the high in New York. So we'll see where we go in the Globex session. If we can get up to yesterday's highs, I think we'll be looking for some good sell opportunities up there today, but I'll see what happens, see what price says. Same with the S&P. So we've broken out. We broke above that initial level. We had another update, broke above that level, remained bullish. Target is 40.46, so 40.64. So there's a big move up available on both of these. There's space. Yeah, when price breaks out and you have this sort of price action where you've got fresh air, basically, there's nothing to restrict it moving up. It's got the room it needs to fly if it wants to fly. But equally, after a push this hard, you'd be looking for some of the medium-term speculators to start dumping their longs and taking profit on those positions, which would drive a short day. So difficult one today. And it's very similar on the Dow. We got fresh air on the Dow, broken above the highs. And we got fresh air all the way up to there. So potentially, no reason why we couldn't get an ADR push today. Equally, we've got profit-taking scenarios in play as well. So could go either way today. So just let price guide you, basically. So the indices, yeah, either or. I like them long this morning, mainly because the DAX needs its fill to be done. Hello. So I got another 23 pips upside on that. And then when that's done, so I just need to close the position out, flat, cancel. Yeah, so once we've done that, we'll see where we go from here. So the DAX is obviously the one which still has resistance here. We've got this gap as well, which, you know, the market does not like leaving gaps. So there is that to reach for. That's kind of the equivalent the DAX has got to the US having all of that space up to those highs. So they've all got upside to fly today, I think. But we'll see. I had a lovely day on the futures yesterday. Bagged $4 grand. Did 3.5 the day before. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 3.5 the day before. Up on the week now. So I had 2 disastrous days, Monday and Tuesday, but 2 flyers. Just goes to show you just got to stick with it. You're going to get those days where the market just clicks and you're in, and every decision you make is right. You have those days where the market just chops you to bits and you have to say, right, enough. It's a numbers game. Marathon, not a sprint, as they say. So having a look at opportunities today, no ADRs, nothing on the weeklies. I'm very, very surprised about this. We've had an absolutely huge news week this week, and we haven't hit a weekly range yet. So just shows you how flat it's been and why I'm sitting stuck in all this lot at the moment, because literally nothing has hit its average weekly ranges at all. We are sitting stagnant at the moment. Monthlies, all the same as before, mainly the euros. So nothing to look at there yet whatsoever. There was a few ADRs yesterday. The vast majority of those were the euros. If you'd have taken any of those euro ADRs yesterday, well done. They all paid out because the euro just did a whipsaw. So lovely day for ADRs yesterday, but you know, you would never know. I would never have taken any of them yesterday because they were fundamentally the wrong direction. I was expecting the euro to pump and it didn't. So nothing on the RSIs on the hourly. Sorry, if my internet disappears today, by the way, and the stream stops, Virgin have been working on the phone lines, so it's been pretty stable for the last hour or so. So, blimey, hello, pop. Whoa, just missed my profit take on that. Jesus. What the hell? So that was the 8:15. Sorry, yeah. What the hell? Of course, that was the 8:15 numbers just come out. French PMI is negative. Let's see what the manufacturing was. Negative, negative, negative. So German will possibly be the same. Why is that not red? Surely that should be red. Okay. So didn't get the gap fill, and we've got a drop on the DAX. So let's see if this pullback holds, and whether we just push back up on that. I just missed a $250 profit on that. That happened way too fast on the futures. No, I mean $75 of drawdown on it. Marvellous. That's me not concentrating. This is why you need to be aware of the news, people. This could well cost me $400. Let's see if we get a pullback from this initial opening balance. Next news is 15 minutes for Germany. Okay, a lot of sellers coming in, being absorbed at the moment by buying action. So those sellers are all likely to puke those orders back up. So I think we'll probably be all right. Not good news though. This is, I think, the problem with the euro at the minute. We're getting a very mixed bag. Why is that not in red? We're getting a very mixed bag of information here. We've increased the interest rates to get on top of inflation, yet numbers are down. So you're getting the positives and then you're getting the negatives hit. So it is still very kind of neutral for the eurozone. It's not recovering very well. Inflation's getting on top of it. Yes, they're doing something about it, but it doesn't mean it's going to be good. We've put the rates up in UK, but it's not. We're not getting on top of things. We're struggling to catch up with inflation. So, just because you get decent interest rate numbers doesn't mean that's suddenly going to cure inflation. That's not the way it works. It takes years. So, not necessarily going to be bullish. Ladder, I am 6.68% down this month. I feel like I'm not made for this, for the summer trading period. Got caught on the wrong side all the time. Good thing May was a 19% month. Yeah. Yeah. Well, is that position trading or is that scalping? I have losing months. Everybody has losing months. You're going to have losing months. They're rare, but I have them. Everybody does. It's just part of the game. It's a long term. You're looking to make an annual living out of this. Doesn't mean it's not like a normal job. You don't get paid X a month, or a day. Look at me this week. I've had a 4K day, a 2.5K day, a 2.5 down day, and then it just, you have days where it just goes wrong, and you'll have weeks that it goes wrong. You'll have months that goes wrong. But if you made 19% last month and you're down 7% this month, you've made 12%. Yeah, averaging 6% a month over the last 2 months. That's better than 95% of traders. Can't argue with that. Morning, Trevor. So I'm just watching this mixture of both. Yeah. So go and have a look at your P&L ladder, what I would say, right? And see where your losses have come from. Marathon, not a sprint, exactly. So yeah, look at where your losses have come from. If the majority of your losses have come from scalping, stop scalping. You're no good at it. If most of your losses have come from position trading and you've made a load of money scalping, maybe concentrate on the scalping for the summer months. Don't forget, you've got to adapt. You've seen me adapt over the Ukraine crisis. I stopped position trading and went straight back to scalping because position trading I knew was going to be highly volatile, lots of squeezes and very dangerous. So I adapted myself back to scalping, which I'm now doing a bit of both. But summer months, you get a lot of tight ranges and a lot of tight channels on trends, which are much more conducive to scalping and not very conducive to position trading. Look at me this week, I've been sitting in somewhere between 1% and 3% of drawdown all week. I've still managed to bank. I've pulled 2.7% out of this week. But this is summer trading. So you've got to identify. So this goes on till September, potentially. So you need to identify where the money's coming from. And if this month, you've had a hideous month on X strategy, maybe for the next 2 months, concentrate on Y strategy. Yeah, you've got to adapt. This is why I keep saying about EAs. An EA cannot identify the difference between a range and a trend. It can't identify the difference between high volatility and low volatility markets. There are ways of measuring it, but nobody's programming EAs that do that because that's what the quants in the banks do. It's an incredibly complex thing to actually try and replicate a human brain. They can be made aware of news events, but they can't be told how to react after that news event. Yeah, I'm sitting on my hands today on Euro trades. Why? Because I'm not quite sure what that Euro news meant yesterday. EAs have got no idea how to do that. They can't adapt. I had somebody contact me yesterday. Can I provide them? I can't remember. I'll try and find the chat. Hi, I don't know if you're in here. I'm not going to say your name, but can you send me a robot that has no loss or drawdown? My reply was nope. Why? Doesn't exist. Okay, something to grow a small account then. I'm struggling. And I said, think about what you're asking. If it existed, this no loss or drawdown EA, we would all be millionaires, wouldn't we? Yeah, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if I had a no drawdown, no loss EA, would I? And neither would you, because we'd all be sitting on the beach together with our laptops just making us millions of pounds every week, month, year, whatever. Doesn't exist. And I have these conversations all the time. But I've been there, don't worry. Everybody's been there, haven't we? We've all been there. Looking for that Holy Grail EA, looking for that Holy Grail indicator. I think that's part of cracking trading. The faster you realise that doesn't exist, the faster you actually will make it. Anyway, I went off on a massive tangent there. But yeah, just look at what you're doing. Trevor, I'm down on 3% on FX this week also. Yeah, it's been a tough week. But it depends how you're trading. Take it with a pinch of salt. Look at a P&L. My P&L. Where's my drawing tool gone? My P&L looks like this. Yeah, very, very calm, very smooth. It's the P&L that everybody would want. But every now and again, I've got that. Yeah, because I position trade. So because I'm not using a stop, I can create a smooth equity curve until I get caught in a squeeze. And when I get caught in a squeeze, I have to take losses. And that's what my equity curve looks like. A normal stop loss trader's equity curve will look something like that. Yeah, there's loads of losses in there. And those losses can be days, they can be weeks, they can be months. But it's the long-term edge. So if you're having a down week or a down month, that's just part of it, part of trading. Same as any company in the world. Their sales P&L will not be like that. Yeah, they'll have months where a competitor comes in and squashes them on the marketing, and their sales will drop, and then they'll readjust, and then their sales will drop, and then they'll readjust, and then they'll have a massive one, and then they'll go flat, and then they'll drop. There is no profit curve that is just like that, and if you see it, at some point, it's going to get one of those. And you just have to, I'm happy, I'm comfortable with it, because I know that they are never as big. Think of, the way I think of position trading, this is a really good way to explain it. I am the S&P. Yeah. This is me. This is how I trade. Every now and again, I get squeezed. I get squeezed again. I carry on going. I get a little bit of a squeeze. Get a little bit of a squeeze. Then I get squeezed. And then I'll get a owie. A real big owie. And then I'll be thinking, right, this isn't working at the moment because the market's too volatile. Ukraine. I need to switch my strategy. So this strategy gets turned off and my getting in and out fast strategy gets turned on. Yeah. You're going to have these. You're always going to have these in your trading, weekly, daily, monthly. There's no way to avoid it. And this is why everybody system hops, because they see me doing this. Yeah. The week they join me, that happens, and they go, oh, what a load of rubbish. He's no good, I'm going on to the next strategy. And then they don't see me make that, and then they come back and go, what happened there? How comes you're making money again? And then they join me and it goes like that. And then they go, oh, that's rubbish. I'm on to the next strategy. And this is why everybody system hops, because the time when you join the strategy, it goes wrong and you think that strategy doesn't work. Of course it does. Those down days, weeks, months are part of the strategy's edge. They're going to happen. We know they're going to happen. You just time it wrong. You just start that strategy at the wrong time. It's just part of the life. But you got to identify it. You've got to live through it to experience it, to know that it happens. Jesse, down 1.5% this week. Yeah, well, you can all form a club. What's going on, guys? I was down Monday, Tuesday. I was down. I pulled it back Wednesday, Thursday. Today's another day. But yeah, you got to take the losses, take the hits. I'm doing okay up the week. Nothing to scream about. Scalping DAX and NAS. Yeah. It's a tough week. It's been a tough week for everybody. We've had a real adjustment this week. If you're scalping the indices, you've had we're in a bear market. Yeah. When you get a bull run in a bear market, everybody that's bearish gets hurt because you've been milking it, creaming it, selling the hell out of it for ages, and all of a sudden it goes up like that for 4 days, as we've got here, and you're like, right, okay, and you'll lose. And then all of a sudden you'll go, right, should we be turning bullish? Should we be turning bearish? And it's that point where you go, I'm just going to wait and see what the market does. And then you'll get a down day. You'll get a big down day soon. We're coming up to the 72. You'll get a big down day soon. And all of a sudden you'll be like, we're back on the game. And then you'll have one of those days like I had yesterday where all of a sudden you're back in the game and it's working. But you can't identify these until they've happened. They're just a cost of doing business. And if you can get through them with a scratch, with a break even or with a small loss, you've done a bloody good job. Only turned profitable at the beginning of the year when I began position trading. Stick with it. After 7 years, yeah. This is it, Trevor. It either clicks or it doesn't. And it's clicked with you, obviously. You know, the amount of stick I get on Telegram from people, position trading, the no stop loss gang, you know. But they don't realise the no stop loss gang is the banks. The banks don't use them. Why should I? They do in the futures market, obviously, but long-term speculators don't use stops. They do exactly what we do. And it either clicks with you and you go, yeah, that makes total sense, or you look at it and go, that's lunacy, I'm never touching it again. Up to you. But then the people that think this is absolute lunacy and go off, never touch it again, will go off and try new stop losses, and they may well find a stop loss strategy that works for them. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. There is no one strategy that fits all. There is no two traders that are alike. There's no two traders doing the same strategy that would take the same trades. It just doesn't work that way. The Armand, I'm a leaf on the wind when scalping. Just go where the price shows me on the day. Exactly. You saw my, I think I posted in the Telegram group, you saw my directional bias that day I think it was Wednesday, wasn't it? My directional bias on Wednesday was long short, long short, long short, long short, long short. 2 minutes later I was short. The next 5 minutes I was long. If the market's going long for a bit, you go long for a bit. If it goes short for a bit, you go short for a bit. And in rangy markets, that's exactly what you need to do. You keep playing the top of that range and the bottom of that range until it doesn't work anymore. And then you get on the train. Ranges will hold. Market ranges 80% of the time. It trends 20% of the time. 80% of the time, if you're a mean reversion trader, you're going to be milking it. Just got to identify when the ranges are there. But anyway, we've gone off on a tangent. We've got some selling coming in. Sorry, that's the 8:30. Christ, I've been talking for that long, have I? So there's the second batch of news just come in. S&P composite 48 on a forecast of 50, so it's negative again for Germany. There we go. So what you see in the French typically is an indicator of the German. So market doesn't seem to be particularly worried about it though. We got a load of selling coming in again there, but it's all been absorbed so far. Gap fill's done. Didn't even notice that. So market's now free to go where it likes on the DAX. So we'll see where they take it from here. But gap play's done. Right, let's have a look at stuff. So pound odd is the only thing we've got extended on the 4 hour at the moment. I'm bearish pound, so I'm looking for shorts. This is obviously down at a level where I was expecting it to get to, but so these lows were where initially the target would have been on this. I never hold. We get in and out on the way down. I never hold it that long. But yeah, so this is down now into potential support area. So we've got 3 levels of support, well 4 really, down here. So we've got that one, we've got that one, we've got a sort of level down there, and then we've got this low. So where we are here, this reaction was off of this low. We've bounced and now we're pushing back down through it. So we've still got some wicks down here to come and test where there may be some limit orders waiting to jump in the market. We've got a couple of areas down here. So we're getting to a point where potentially we're going to get this pullback up into these lows somewhere. So you could look at taking a long here. The bias for me though on this one is kind of short. Aussie dollar I'm kind of neutrally long on, pound I'm short on, so it's difficult to take a long from down here for me. I'd much rather be shorting it. I'm short pound US dollar at the moment, so I am short the pound, but this is due a pullback off of this move. We've had a big strong move here all week down, so there will be people looking to get out of their positions, which will give us a bit of a profit take on this. I wouldn't want to take it much higher than sort of here. By then obviously 24 will be coming down on top, and should be looking for a new leg down on it. But yeah, so negative there. Not really interested in taking along on that one. So that's the only thing we've got extended at the moment on the 4 hours. Everything else is either come out of extension that's been in it or is getting close. The Aussies are getting close. Aussie New Zealand it's getting close to a high. Aussie US not too far away. Oh, that's just come out of an extension. So we've got a nice W pattern potentially forming there. So just done a liquidity run on those highs. We're waiting for the US dollar to power up, which we're not getting at the moment. So who knows? Trevor, agreed, Armand, the here and now. We need to be professional weathermen. Yes. Who knows which way it's going to blow. Wind blows in a different direction every day. Some days you take a brolly, some days you don't. $400 loss to start the morning. That's not good. Just got stopped out of a long that I had on the ES, which is annoying because I got $200 potential profit on that spike, but didn't manage to bank it. It was too quick. Actually, I haven't been stopped out just yet. I'm still in it. My stop is literally there. My gnat's whisker away from getting stopped out. That's where my profit was. Entered up here somewhere. But yeah, as long as we don't double bottom, I'll be all right. So there's not really a lot to look at today. If there's anything, is there any pairs anybody wants to look at in particular this morning? I'm not going to go. I've been through all the pairs 3 times this week, and there's not a massive amount of difference with a lot of the FX pairs, because as you can see, we haven't gone anywhere. So my analysis all week has been the same, and it is still the same. My bias isn't changing on anything. Everything that was pushing up, I'm expecting to drop. I'm still expecting to drop. So if you've been in the live room anytime this week, Monday, Tuesday or yesterday, you've seen me do a full analysis of every pair, and it all stands. It's all the same. So there's no point in going through it again. You can watch the replays, they're all the same. So Aussie CAD, I'm short on, waiting for the break. I'll go through what I'm in, because obviously these are the ones I'm interested in. Aussie CAD, I'm short, well within an ADR. So there's ADR, there's my break even. I'm well within touching distance. Just need 1 4-hour candle today and I'll get some profit. Looking for US dollar strength to drive this down. Pound US dollar, same thing, waiting for US dollar strength. Pound is weak. This one's in profit at the moment. I've been in profit and out of profit. You can see I've been milking this thing. I've just stopped out in that position on the S&P. I've been in and out of this thing while we've been doing nothing. So I should continue to do the same thing. I shall take a profit on this one today if we get down to here, and if we push back up to there, I'll add it back on again, and I'll just keep taking profit on it until it decides to go, which it's not. New Zealand dollar Swiss, loads of selling on the indices coming in. New Zealand dollar Swiss shorts, so this is the longest flag in the world. It's just not breaking, this flag. So the Swiss franc rate announcement, waiting for the next leg. New Zealand dollar neutral week, or neutral. I mean, just neutral really. New Zealand dollar. There's no strength or weakness really in the New Zealand. Swiss franc, expecting a new leg off of the rates, and expecting strength off of the euro. We didn't get it. So you just sitting side. I've been sitting sideways for 2 weeks, waiting for this flag to break, and I'm still waiting, and I will continue waiting until the thing does it. What else have we got? US dollar CAD. So again, I've been saying the same thing all week. We've been accumulating. I'm waiting for a liquidity run on these levels to power up the next long. We haven't had it. Either go and don't bother doing this, or do it and get on with it, but sideways. So again, milking it, as you can see, just taking profits off, getting rid of some of the DD, taking profits off, getting rid of some of the DD, just waiting for this to do something. If we get up to here today, I will close that one out, do a little bit more DD, because it's just not going anywhere. And my friend oil, who I'm becoming quite attached to because it's making me lots of money, but it's pushed up again on oil this morning and hovering at the minute. So looking for the Asian lows and yesterday's lows to hold today. I'm not necessarily expecting it to go anywhere today, but would be nice if we can just sort of hold here and accumulate, because if we're accumulating, we've got a much better chance of breaking back through this trend line high and making this the new low. And obviously the reason for that is because this is pre-COVID oil prices at 90 to 95 a barrel. So somewhere between there and there is where we were balanced. and where we've rejected 3 times now. So I'm looking for this third knock on the door to be the one that drives us to the upside. But that's all I've got, because everything else is just going sideways. Bloody hell. Apart from pound US dollar, excuse my French. I just in a load of profit. Way. Morning. Pound just fell out of bed, big style. Or is that US dollar? Strength on the US dollar, by the looks of things. Yes, US dollar strength. Massive US dollar strength just come in. Not sure why. Nothing of interest there. So, yeah, lovely US dollar strength just come in. So I'll keep that running. I want to try and get 0.5%. I think this is probably my best chance of getting 0.5% today, to be honest. So if I can run this up to $200 roughly, I'll stick the whole of the pound US dollar in the bank today. In fact, I can grab 0.5% out of all of this lot now, but I'll do a little evaluation on it. What's that? What's it on the CAD? It's coming down as well, so I'm just going to leave these to run, see if we can get a decent downside on these this morning. And this is what I've been doing all week, literally, just sideways on everything, pushing out the lows on the indices. Well, the ES we are anyway. We need to be professional. I'm short on the Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, I would be long on it, but if you're short on it, that's fine. It's the short was here. I guess that's probably where you got on, or maybe on this next tap. So this is the highs. But you remember I said, I don't know if you're in the live room, after we got this drop and this push off these off the 24, this is the first time we've had in this range. We've had the movement not return. We've just pushed up new high. So this is showing strength in the Aussie. So you're looking at these highs basically. That's not really a good propulsion gap. I might recode this indicator to work off of maybe 5 to 7 candles prior being in a range to get this more accurate, because the propulsion gap is basically an accumulation break. That's a propulsion gap. This is just a push, and that's an A-shaped recovery. That's not a propulsion gap because it didn't accumulate before it broke. It just went up and it reversed. So that I wouldn't really be interested in. But if this doesn't come back down, I don't know where your break even is on it, or your profit area is on it, but you could get another test of the 24, in which case I would be out. Otherwise, plan to just scale in up to the highs and wait for the next pullback. But this is a long Aussie New Zealand. The Aussie and the New Zealand move in tandem, but the Aussie is always stronger because it's the bigger economy, bigger country, so it will always, usually, unless there's any reason for weakness or strength in one or the other currency, the Aussie will usually win out. So at the moment, in terms of volatility, currency strength, there's not much going on this morning. US dollar a bit strong, euro a bit weak, but overall not a lot of movement. Yeah, I was just looking at the currency strength. It's not. The US dollar was strong. So based on currency strength at the moment, the play is Aussie New Zealand. Sorry, New Zealand dollar, US dollar long. But the US dollar is powering back up again, and this is why currency strength doesn't work. Yeah, the idea of currency strength is you take whoever's the strongest and whoever's the weakness, and you assume that because they are extreme extended, Same, it works the same as, look at them like an RSI, yeah? Yeah. We're extended on the US dollar, we're extended on the New Zealand. When we get extended, we pull back to the mean, yeah, which is what they're kind of doing now. So when you spot something extended down here and something extended up there, you assume that they're going to, US dollar will weaken, New Zealand dollar will strengthen. Completely the opposite has happened today. This is why it just doesn't work. Like all indicators, every single indicator out there will work some of the time, other times it doesn't. I just found this the most frustrating thing in the world to try and trade off of, because it's the most lagging thing in the world. This is showing you what it's just plotting basically on here what you will see on a chart, whereas something like the RSI is actually measuring the strength of movement rather than the direction. Yeah, that's why it's a condition indicator, the RSI. This is more like a candlestick chart. Using this, if you're using candlestick charts, you can see it on the chart, which is why I just looked at it and thought, well, it's just showing me what I already know, so I dumped it. Some people use it. It's good for scalping, but again, it will get you into trouble. Again, it's one of those things. It's like a bias. You'll be like, well, I'm going to keep scalping this thing because I know it's going to happen soon, and what will happen is this will just get embedded down there, that will get embedded up there, and before you know it, you've scalped 5% of your profits away. It just doesn't work. Well, I couldn't find it. I couldn't make it work anyway. I never say anything doesn't work. It always works for somebody. That's why they exist. US dollar strength. Hopefully a nice bearish rip on the indices today. Yeah, exactly. Depends what happens New York. I'm expecting a bearish rip. If you look at the ES, this is filtered down to be just New York sessions. So we've had three P-shaped. So these are volume profiles of TPOs. We've had 3 P-shaped profiles in a row. Yeah, followed by a B. So P's are bullish, B's are indication of turning into lowercase b's, which is volume profile with a large downside volume bulge. So bearish movement. So yeah, it's all this. Yesterday's price action is indicative of a potential reversal. So yeah, I'm bearish indices today, but as always, you need to let price tell you. But this US dollar strength is indicative because obviously, typically, you will find US dollar will go inverse to index. So if we get a big strong US dollar this morning and New York can take the US dollar further, then we should get a really nice rip to the downside. It's due. People are going to take profit on these stocks. They've been buying up stocks all week which have had good earnings. They'll be sitting there looking at them, not the long-term investors, but the shorter-term speculators will be sitting there looking at their P&Ls going, that's good. They want to get out. To get out, they've got to sell. When you get a selling frenzy, you get a selling frenzy, and everybody jumps on board the selling frenzy, and it becomes a selling steam train. And that's where we get these big steps up and falls down the elevator shaft. And that's the profit take move on the speculative trades. That's why your sells always work faster and better than anything else. Just because we are programmed to buy stuff and we sell it really quick. I don't know, it's just one of those human traits. Don't forget the markets are all traded by human beings. We all are programmed in a similar way to buy stuff and sell stuff. And everybody wants to buy stocks, and when they sell them quick. Looking at the S&P most recent moves, yeah, boom, collapse. Look at that accumulation, smash, smash, smash. That's what happens. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those patterns you see. And it's just it's panic. It's panic selling in the pits. Not that the pits really exist anymore, but it's just panic selling. You see you see your profits. We're the same, aren't we? Yeah, if I'm looking at my P&L, and that was $100 and something a minute ago, wasn't it? If I see that whittling away, and I don't want to take a loss on this trade, there's a point where my brain is going to go, if you don't get out soon, you're going to lose it. So I just go, oh, I'll just take that. It's 2/3 of what I had, but I'll take it. Everybody's doing the same thing. And when I take that, it's not obviously for me, but a big institution is going to take that. They're going to see a tick down. The next institution is going to see their profits whittled down a little bit more, so they're going to take a profit, and that's going to see a tick down. And then more and more people will spot the move accelerating. Volume will increase. Volume profile will go thin, and everyone jumps on board. That's just the way it works. Humans, following the sheep, the herd. That's what we do. Right, so yeah, that's all I got today. Not much else happening, is there? I'm just sitting waiting for something to move. But yeah, everything hopefully will go in the right direction today because I've got double US dollar exposure. So if we can get a good strong push on US dollar today, that will see me out nicely. The other weird thing I've got going on with my P&L at the moment is this CAD hedge. Hedged Aussie dollar CAD short, US dollar CAD long. Neither of them are, I'm getting into drawdown on both. So this hedge is just not paying out because the movement is being caused by the Australian dollar in this case and the US dollar. The hedge is on the CAD. The CAD is sitting flatlined at the minute, no strength anywhere. So both of these trades are being pushed around in the wrong direction by the US dollar and the Aussie dollar. So the hedge part of this trade, the CAD, I can't get out of. It's the most annoying thing in the world. James, the volume profile is on 15 minutes. Volume profile isn't time based. Volume is volume. There's no time involved with volume. The volume profile basically is just showing you where price has traded. So this is a volume profile. There's no time. This is not a time chart. This is a volume chart. It's a volume profile. It's got nothing to do with time whatsoever. The market is traded from there to there. Most of the volume has been conducted today at 39.85.50. It doesn't matter when it was conducted. That's where most of the volume has been today. There's no such thing as a time. TPO. This is a TPO chart. This is time and price profile. So this is. So each of these. This is the volume profile, which is what you see here. But this is the TPO chart, which is broken down into 30. I use a 30-minute TPO. So each of these lines is a 30-minute volume profile. So it shows me where it was trading. So the initial balance, as they call it, happened here. Then on the next 30 minutes, we traded there. The next 30 minutes, we traded there. The next 30 minutes, we didn't go anywhere. The next 30 minutes, we went up. The next 30 minutes, we went up. And then 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. So you see we hovered around here for a lot of 30 minutes. Therefore, the vast majority of the profile was built there. The P and the B, yeah, this is a 30-minute. You can do this on any time frame you want, but it doesn't. It's not to do with time. I can change this to a 15-minute, but all you get is a thicker profile built. I've just all TPOs. I think most people just use a 30. 30 is kind of default, so I think that's why I use it, because that's kind of what everybody seems to use. 30 is what the the banks use as well. There's some reason, I think, behind it being a 30-minute. You'll probably find the market moves in 30-minute cycles. Yesterday, what I did yesterday was I bought on the 30-minute, on the initial opening balance, I bought as we started pushing up here, and I sold at the highs. Then I sold again and came out somewhere down there. Then I waited for them to get down to the lows, the recent 30-minute lows, and I bought again and sold again there, which is why I had virtually no loss yesterday. I had 2-3 losing trades yesterday, because it seems to move nicely in 30-minute cycles. So if you sold the lows of the TPO, like this one here, like value area low, value area high, buy the value area low. If the TPO pushes out and pushes back in again, buy the value area low and ride it up to the value area high. So this is an area of high liquidity, high volatility. These are areas where we're in price discovery. If you get into price discovery, you can see the volume thins out and they go, actually, we don't like trading down here. And as soon as you see that coming up, and you see large buys, orders come in on this, which is the tape, that's a signal that the sellers just, they're trying to find out if there's buyers down here, and there isn't. And then we fly back up again. TPO is really handy for showing you how price moved within the volume profile. Again, something you can, or don't you just use the tools that you find useful, really, if you're going to trade futures. But I'm finding TPO really good. And just New York. I'm not interested in Globex. Globex is, as you can see, sideways. I've identified by looking at my journal, I lose most of my money in Globex. Although I have really good sessions in Globex, I actually long-term lose in Globex. So I've decided not to trade Globex. I'm trading the Frankfurt Open, which is why I just lost $400 this morning. And I'm trading New York. I'm happy to trade the Globex session at the Frankfurt Open because we get that volatility at the Open. Yeah, so we get, you can see the Open here. We've been, this is 5 minutes. So we're mucking about on 3K, 4K, 2K, 4K, 4K, blah, blah, blah. Then we jump up 10,000 at the Open, 10,000. So we get volatility coming in at Frankfurt, and then it tends to go quiet again. So that first hour is worth a shot because you're going to get fast movement on volume, whereas the orders are placed in the DAX. And because the market moves in sectors, they'll be placing orders in the DAX, but they'll also be buying in the ES, in the NASDAQ, and in the Dow. Because if they're buying the tech sector, they will be buying tech stocks in all three of these, and the DAX. So you get volatility, but that volatility soon wanes and goes sideways, and this is where everybody gets chopped to pieces. But some days, I find in Globex, I will be able to identify the highs and the lows of the range, and it will just work all day long, and I'll milk it and I'll make a couple of thousand. Then I'll get days where that doesn't work and I'll lose more than I make in the Globex sessions. So for me, I'm just shut Globex down. I'm not trading it anymore. Look at the volume here. I mean, this is all you've got to play with. This is you. Where are you going to take a trade from here? Yeah, you don't trade on volume because you just don't do it. There's nothing here to give you any indication of why you should be getting into a trade. Yeah, you either sell the lows and the highs, buy the highs to get breakouts, or you rotate the value area. And if this thing gets down to here and we see some large buyers stepping in, yeah, there's a buy. And if we get up into this area up here and we see some large volume coming in, yeah, there's a sell. But this, you might get 4 or 5 opportunities in a whole Globex session to do this. And the one you sell up there that's the breakout, like I had this morning, will lose you $400. And then the next one will lose you, whatever your risk is on the trades, will lose you. Before you know it, you're $1,200 down. Other days I'll be $1,200 up. But net gain is not a lot. And I've been seeing people in many Discord channels that I'm in for futures are all saying, I don't trade the Globex, I don't trade the Globex. And now I know why. It's just too choppy. And so this is why I've broken this down. So this is just showing me what I want to see. I want to see the New York sections. So this is literally just showing me New York only, which is 9:30 to 5 New York time. So this is only showing me volume traded during the New York session. There is no Globex in there whatsoever. So it's just a clearer view. So, you know, today, and like yesterday, I was selling the previous value areas. So value area low of these two here on the TPO. So it gives you really good levels as well to buy from and sell from. And they work really nicely. So this is the value area low for profile. This is the value area low for TPO. The value area high for yesterday's profile, and the value area high for yesterday's TPO. Point of control for both. So depending where we open today, I'll be watching these levels and these levels for price to reject, and I will short it and I will hold it. I had a $1,200 short yesterday because I got in and held it with a stop above the value area. It's actually this trade. I think it was the second trade yesterday. Which trade was it? Oh, it was a long. Sorry, it was a long. It was this one here. Up to there. That was the risk reward on it. And it just worked out beautifully. But it was all played off of previous value areas. If you open as something, a good trick about TPO, may or may not know, depends how much you know about TPO charts, but when we open within the value area, so if we open today in that range there, you've pretty much got a 50-50 shot of going long or short today. Yeah, because this is where price was happy to trade. Yeah, this is the value area where the market found value and traded 70% of its transactions yesterday. If we open above value area or below value area, so let's say we open today at 39.42 for example, your bias should be short, because the market has found during Globex a new level of balance outside of yesterday's value. So if we come back up to test yesterday's value where we were happy to transact and reject it, your bias for the whole day should be short, because the Globex session found a new area of balance, price discovery to an area it was happy to trade in. If the market tries to get back to where it liked to trade yesterday and doesn't want to, the likelihood is we will end up with a B profile. So opening above value area, same thing. If it rejects value area high, long bias for the session. If we open within value area, 50-50 shot. We may well just close in the value area. Yeah, we could have a rotational day within value, which is what this profile down here is. Oh, I haven't got it. I haven't got much data on here. That's, yeah, there isn't one here. There. So that is a D-shaped profile, a balanced profile. Yeah, so you got P followed by a B. B is bearish. What happened the next day? We pushed up, tried the highs, ended up with another one. Sat there sideways, mixed but a little bit more bullish. Pushed up higher, So you can see, and the lovely thing as well is gaps are obvious as you like if you just use the New York session. And what did they do? They came back. Because we had value here, the market found value. Then Globex took us up to here and the market was like, hang on a minute, I was quite happy trading down there, let's retest it. Actually, no, you were right. And it pushed up. It's very clever TPO. It's just it gives you a completely different view. You need to play with it though. The more you look at it, the more watch it unfold during the day is what I would say. If you've got TPO charts, you get them on Tradeovate as well. They do TPO on Tradeovate. But watch these things unfold and watch what happens to price at these levels. The value area highs, value area lows, and the points of control. You'll be amazed, and you know, just keep a log for a week. What happens if we open above value area high? Note down what happens. Just, you know, if we pull back into value area, that's the other thing. If we open above value area high and reject, there's your bias for the day. If we break back into the value area high, push up and retest, we're likely to get a range day. Gives you real good clues as to what to do for the day. But you've got to wait for the first 15 minutes to unfold. Hello, Blinded. Who's that? These are fancy charts. They're not really, they're just charts. Futures, different. It's all different. Everything's different in futures. Completely different learning curve, completely different way of trading, completely different mindset. And completely not for everybody. It's different, just different. Right, I shall leave it there. Pound US dollar's gone into a sideways. At the moment, we're just holding down at these lows. So we'll see if we get a pullback. Sammy, that's, yes, hello. I knew you had a funny name. All good. He's back. Have you made it into the banks yet? You were looking to get into banks as a professional trader. One of those 1 in 2,000 people that gets in. Did you make it? If not, why not? Just walk up to any bank you like and just say you've been in these trading rooms, and they'll just go, really? All right, you're hired. It's that easy. It's who you know. No, they'll laugh at you. Don't do that. Trevor, just learnt a lot on TPO. Good. If you want to learn more about TPO, there is Top Step. We've got a really good 4-day course on futures. 4-day. It's 4-part course. It's actually it's probably about the length of the Boocamp actually. It's about 4, 8, 12. It's actually longer. It's probably about 16 hours. It's kind of an introduction to futures, but it's more of an introduction to all the chart types, how futures market works, all that sort of stuff. But it's free. It's on YouTube. He does a session on, I think he does a session on TPO. I'm pretty sure he does. But yeah, you learned a lot about TPO. It's very useful. More for directional bias. I watch it during the day because I like to see what they're up to with you know, these as these unfold. You'll see these unfold. You'll see it paint like that, and then you see it go down. So when we get down below here, we're outside of value. So the initial balance, just to talk about this a little bit more, the initial balance is the first 30 minutes here. This is right. So we've established this is where we're happy to trade so far. So we open up with the next one, and as we get down below this initial balance, we're looking for, this is price discovery for the day. So we're looking, are you or are you not going to go short out of here? So if we get all the way down here from all the way up here, the odds of mean reversion are much higher than continuation, because the market is stretched by the time it gets here. So you're looking for signs of big orders coming in, big bubbles appearing on your heat map, and big volumes of buyers to come in to say, yeah, we've had a go down here, but we've run out of sellers. The buyers are winning. There's a lot of absorption happening, and that's where you jump in. Your stop is really easy. When you get down below this area, you see this, you see the market's tied to move up, you see some buying coming in, your stop's there. The chances are we're going to retest this initial balance high, because what the market needs to do now is see, right, okay, well, we didn't want to go any lower. We know we can happily trade here, so let's test the highs. Can we get out here? And then you'll get out of there and it will go, yeah, we got a bit further this time, but we now need to come back into value. Yeah, this is why the value area high and value area low is so useful, because when you get out of the value area, the market is in price discovery, and most of the time price discovery will fail. Why? Because most of the volume, most of the traders are happily trading in this area. It will always be dragged back to value. And this is why you will find it very rare that you will have a point of control and a close outside of value. The market always wants to try and pull back into value. So the areas of value, highs and lows, this is where I start looking for longs, this is where I start looking for shorts. So the two trades are on your volume profile is you take the breakouts and you scalp the breakouts, and then you wait when you're outside of value for the market to slow, and then you long it back into value. And then you get out somewhere there, unless it's going like a steam train, and then you stay in. But this takes a lot of patience. 4 or 5 trades a day. Although I tend to break my 4 or 5 trades down into multiple trades, so I will be trading the same idea, but I'll be in and out and in and out, because I'm just sketchy like that. Can I check US 30? Yes, I can. Dow. Not going anywhere. Going short. Up to you. I'm not trading Globex. It's no. You can go short if you want to. We've just taken out liquidity, so taken out yesterday's high. Reversal alert. If I was you, I would have a pending order under there and go with it. Don't go short now just because you like short. Go short when the market shorts on that breakout. But up to you. If you want to get in earlier. But we don't know where we're going yet. We've got there's no directional bias really on anything today. We are sideways. Like, of course, I own 2 banks now, yeah. Does market structure work on that? No. Sammy, that's nothing. The futures is nothing to do with... oh yeah, market structure is... Yeah, I mean, market structure works on it, yes. Market structure is evident everywhere, but that's only market structure is identified on candlesticks. But highs and lows, look at the market structure here, yeah? Inside bar, yeah, we made a new high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So the market structure is still there. Yeah, but we didn't make a new high. So it's the same thing. Market structure. If I make this into a 15-minute, it'll be a lot clearer, the market structure. So there's your peak formation low. Pushed up, made a high. Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Yeah, same. It's all there. Market structure is market structure. It works everywhere. Just if you're trading candlesticks, obviously it's a lot easier to see and clearer, but that's not what that chart is telling me. That chart is not used for identifying market structure. It's used for identifying value areas. Oh God, it's going to be a flip-floppy day again. I'm going to have to start taking some profit on stuff because we're going to flip-flop. So I'm going to post in the Telegram group when I'm closing stuff out. I think I'm going to just take chunks today, like take, you know, a 0.2 there. If one of these gets up to a 0.1, I'll take a 0.1, then I'll take another 0.1, and I'll just basically scrabble my way up to 0.5% again, which is what I've been doing all week because there's been no movement. So it's going to be one of those scrappy days, I think. But I'll post in the Telegram group what I'm doing. I told them I was retired multi-funded trader at a young age, and now I'm balling. Yeah. Go for it. If you can get into the banks, it's a lot of money, a lot of work though. A lot of work and a lot of people queuing up behind you wanting your job. And as soon as you start failing at your job, you're off that desk and someone else is on that desk. The banks are very fickle. Yeah, they give you X million to trade with. If you come back with Y million and someone else comes back with Z million and they haven't got a job with the bank, they're going to get a job with the bank and you're out. Which is why people burn out in the banking sector so fast, because you're constantly looking at all the guys snapping at your heels wanting to take your job. It's not a nice industry at all, if you get into it. Anyway, I'm not going to stop rabbiting now. So I'll leave it there for today. Watching the euro. Ooh, that's US dollar, isn't it? Watching the euro, see if we can get some idea on direction today. It doesn't look like it at the moment. We look like we're just flip-flopping about. Euro's come down against New Zealand. It's looking weak. Yeah, it's looking weak, euro. So if this stays like this, it looks like the market was not happy with 0.5. She was very bearish as well, Lagarde, in the press conference. She was not talking it up as a pretty picture at all. She was, so I think negative stance, but I'll wait until Monday and see where we are Monday, and then I think if we don't start making some big progress on the euro, I'll still be looking for shorts. Other than that, just be banking stuff today if I can. All right, have a good weekend, everybody. I will be back on Monday at 7:50. I'll be in the Telegram group if you need me as usual. Anything I close out, I will just let you know if you're on similar trades. But yeah, just keep milking it while we're going sideways, and bank what you can, really, at the minute, is the name of the game. Okay, have a good one, and back Monday. See you then.